Good morning, folks. Today I'm going to talk about one of the greatest scams, the greatest acts, one of the greatest acts in the land you call and spell AMERICA, that I call and spell AMER-ECK-A, AMERECK-A. And that scam is the illusion of presidential elections. Because in America, folks, there are no elections, only selections. In fact, Hillary Clinton has already been selected by the House of Rothschild, the synagogue of Satan, the Zionist Jews who own America. And if you doubt, Google it. America is nothing more than an Israeli colony. And it has been so for years. It began with the Federal Reserve in 1913, which is not federal and has no reserves, a cabal of international Jewish bankers who can't be audited. But it really became full-blown after the Jews assassinated John F. Kennedy because he wanted to inspect their nuclear facility, which he wouldn't fund them any money for, in Dimona, in the Negev Desert in Israel. Let's talk about the elections. Hillary will be the next puppet. I hate to use the word president because we haven't had one since JFK. Even Reagan was nothing more than George Bush's puppet. And Bush was also a puppet for the Israeli lobby, the B'nai B'rith Freemasonic Lodge, the Synagogue of Satan, the Bilderbergers, the Council on Foreign Relations. I can go on and on, but I won't. To set a prime example of what I'm talking about, let's go back to the election of 1992, where you had a relatively unknown by the name of Bill Clinton, who is the bastard son of Winthrop Rockefeller. Bill's mother, I call him Slick Willie's mother, Slick Willie Rockefeller. His mom was working in the Winthrop Rockefeller's mansion when Winthrop was governor of Arkansas, and she got knocked up by Winthrop. And she had little Bill, so she had to leave the job, who was supported for the rest of his life and still is to this day. All you have to do to verify that is get the big book on the Rockefellers and look at Winthrop's picture when he was about between 40 and 50 years old. Spitting image of Slick Willie Rockefeller. Well, Bill Clinton was a relatively unknown, but he was known very well in Arkansas when he was the governor because he was one of the major drug dealers in the United States, partnering with George Bush, can't help myself, on bringing drugs into Mena, Arkansas, cocaine from South America and Central America into the United States and getting the kids addicted. In fact, about 53 or more, I'm not sure, you could Google this, teenagers and young men and women were murdered because they knew what was going on. This is Bill Clinton's operandi. Bill Clinton was, at the time, a relatively unknown. So how's he going to become president? The public, the masses, who are asses, loved George Bush. I certainly didn't. I knew he was a fake and a fraud. To the extent that I do now, no, but he's a devil. A definite Zionist puppet. Well, Bill Clinton was, as George Bush was, a member of the Trilateral Commission, a member of the Bilderbergers, Bilderberger Group, a member of the Council on Foreign Relations, all conspiratorial organizations designed to take America down and bring out open Jew world order, which you call New World Order. So they had to get Clinton in. But why not Bush? Well, I'm going to tell you that in a minute, but let's put the nail in the coffin. Both of them are 33rd degree Freemasons. So where was the election? But if George Bush got elected, he could have never began the war on small American business through NAFTA. He would never get the Democratic labor unions on his side to get NAFTA passed, the so-called free trade agreement, which allows anyone to trade with us freely, but we, the United States, can't trade with them for free. We have to pay. So they had to get Clinton in, and there was no chance to do it through legitimate means. So they got a hold of their good old boy, Ross Perot, very glib talker, said all the things you mooches, yeah, the mooches who want something for free, you morons, you brainwashed dummies wanted to hear. And he sounded so good that when election time came, everything went as planned. You went to the election and either voted in the main for Clinton, because you weren't too sure about Bush. I mean, as far too sure about Perot, or you voted for Perot, which gave Clinton the sway. But they had it covered anyway with the electoral college bubble mice that they use on you. So Bill Clinton got elected and ran 2 terms. What did he do for the country? Absolutely nothing. You thought the economy was good because it was disguised by the finance craze. The war on small business had begun. For Clinton got NAFTA passed. A lot of companies moved out of the country, the big companies, under the guise that they'll come back once they reap the profits that they weren't making here, which you know that was never going to occur. You don't change horses in midstream, and you don't curtail a good thing on a guesstimate. This is why America now is feeling the pangs of what I call depression being masqueraded as a recession, because of the war on small business engineered through NAFTA. And a myriad, a plethora of other reasons. See, there are no elections. Barack Obama, an unknown. How did he become president? Please. The guy is a communist Jew. Yes, his mother is a Jewish whore. You could Google that too. A communist Jewish whore. You could see pictures of her on the internet, bending over, showing her ass, with the surreptitious, enticing smile on her face. She was a whore, just like Bill Clinton is a whore, for the Zionist Jews in the Israeli lobby, who are controlled by the B'nai B'rith Freemasonic Jewish Lodge that run the country in the main. You folks have to wake up. When you go to the ballot box, all you're doing is making a fool of yourself, because it doesn't matter who got elected. Whoever got elected is going to do one thing and one thing only: pass more laws to restrict your freedom. Maybe that's the way you want to live. I certainly don't, and I won't, and I never have. I do what I want, when I want, and how I want. I don't need a president. I don't need a puppet. And I don't need Jewish rule. I make my own rules. I'm master of myself. I'm the captain of my own fate, the sergeant of my own soul. Can you say the same?